This is why I wanted to have this conversation. No matter how I've sliced it, this is the argument. These motherfuckers are stupid for paying all this money for some pussy off a bitch.
Hey, good day, everyone. This is your host, King Nigel of Alpha Male Diaries. Today, I'm going to introduce an interesting topic that was actually laid out by Kevin Samuels. You know, ladies and gentlemen, we know that there are a lot of women who are in the habit of overvaluing themselves. You know, these women are sometimes 35, 40, 50, 55, 60. As old as 75 years old, still hoping and believing to come across that high value man.
Ladies and gentlemen, age 40 is where the game changes. Shout out to Game Changer. At age 40, you have put in your 20 years.
But the simple fact of the matter is, are these women thinking realistically? Or are they moving based on how they feel, whether they feel they deserve it, they're entitled, or maybe they even feel that it's their time?
Shout out to Minister Jap. He has a phrase that I'm going to take. He says, "You're too old to mold." There used to be a brother running around the Manosphere, on the Manosphere Street talking about he doesn't deal with women over 25. I think that's a bit young. But the general sentiment is, if you are a woman and you are cute, pretty, beautiful, and or gorgeous, that's 6, 8, 9, and or 10, and you have never been married, there's something wrong with her.
But is time really on their side? That's the question. Ladies and gentlemen, what I'm going to do is that I'm going to have an open Zoom meeting. Feel free to join. However, I'm only going to limit my guests to like maybe 5 guests. And I just ask that you be respectful, courteous, and mindful of other group members, as well as the host, because I'll chew your ass out. But at the end of the day, you know, we out here to have fun. You know, we all talk so far. The ones that I did invite to my podcast, we got along very, very, very well. Everybody respected one another, and that's how it should be. But furthermore, fellas, don't forget tomorrow, 9 p.m., between 9 p.m. and 9:15 p.m. It's going to be fellas night. We're going to have a topic, man, that some of you guys may want to touch on. You may not mind, however it goes, but the topic will be tricking. The topic is tricking. Fellas, you know.
This is why I wanted to have this conversation. No matter how I've sliced it, this is the argument. These motherfuckers are stupid for paying all this money for some pussy off a bitch that another nigga can fuck off his game. This is effectively what's called topping from the bottom. You got guys at this level basically saying, damn, he overpaying for that pussy. He only paying that because he make all that money. But if he didn't make all that money, she fucked him for free. And what you don't realize is these men up here are getting a different outcome. I mean no disrespect, but this is broke thinking. Y'all are worrying about what the woman says and about the money. He's like, nigga, it's efficient. I got my nut and I left. I went on to make my hundreds of thousands of millions. And yes, she went back to her boyfriend who's making 50,000. He's getting it for free, but I don't have to listen to the broad. This is about efficiency, power, and scale. And it's like, well, shit. And y'all are still focused on the dollar cost, not realizing he fucked her for free. Yeah, but you also got to deal with her. She ain't just fucking him for free and going home. Y'all act like she's charging the CEO one thing and then going to fuck the guy over here who who was her boyfriend. He ain't just fucking and leaving. God damn.
during this time of day, do you feel it's worth dating? Like, is it a risk actually going out here in the dating scene just to see if you met that right one? If you finally came across a woman that you feel you can actually work with and that she's actually cooperative. But before you even get to that point to go on a date, how much of your time, energy, effort, attention, and financial resources have you utilized this far in order to set up this date? Is that not tricking? Or is it? Even having a wife, she performing all the things she's supposed to do as a wife. She's maintaining her role and holding it good. And in return, in exchange for her services, you may buy her gifts, flowers, all types of things because you're satisfied with the job that she's doing. Is that tricking? Or is that part of you, as a husband, providing for your wife? But this is the thing. When you look at both aspects versus a date or versus marriage, we ain't gonna touch on relationships. You still have to pay for both, right? Is it not the same or is it different? You still have to take your financial resources and apply it towards this woman just to show you, just so you can show her that you're interested. That's how some of them move. You know what I'm saying? If you like me, you'll get me this, you'll get me that. But what I'm saying is this. Did you do all that in the hopes of sex? Or you do that in the hopes of not being lonely, fellas? Let's just keep it 100. So if it's not tricking, man, then it's pigs flying around this motherfucker. Because I see it as clear as day. No man is going to invest his time in a woman that he can't fuck, period. And no woman is going to invest her time in a man where she can't dig in his pockets to get that bread in exchange for her sex. So I just keep it 100. If you was a broke motherfucker, you know what I'm saying, with an average size dick, would you still get you some? Huh? Would you still get you some? If a woman be like, well, you know what? He may not have this and have that, girl, but he hung like a horse. You see the trade-off in that, right? But see, this is the thing. Men and women, whether you want to own up to it or not, we look for certain things within one another, whether you pay attention to it or not. That is how it goes. If that wasn't the case, women won't be on social media, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, all this other shit, showing their body, showing their ass. That's the main thing that shows their ass. Like, that's all we want. Like, it's more to you than just your fucking ass. Any woman has an ass. You understand what I'm saying? Or fellas, if that wasn't the case, is you flashing your money on Facebook, your rides and all this other stuff, you know what I'm saying, your jewels and all this other stuff to impress men? Or are you doing it to entice women so they can be like, yo, he that dude. Let me go after him. It may be a lot of women that think that way. The next thing you know, you got a flock of women. Because they see how you are out there, man. They see physically. You know what I mean? Men, we look at women differently. We're visual. We look at outcomes and results. Why some of these women, they just look at your pockets, dog. It is what it is, man. Whether you want to own up to it, whether you want to agree or disagree, it is what it is. 9 times out of 10, unless she's a very traditional woman, and she really sees that you can provide, protect, and lead her in the right direction, without having too much because maybe she doesn't require you a lot, she's not high maintenance. She understands your situation and willing to roll with the punches. You understand me? But 9 times out of 10, if you don't got that bread, you ain't getting in that bed, bro. That's just how it goes. And ladies, if I'm lying, let them know. But we're going to have a topic on this, man. It's going down. But first, I just had to babble on a little bit. This open topic that I'm going to have is going to be huge.
Helping women to recognize they are not that special, to where men stop getting demonized. I'm not going to settle. No, it's time to sell. If you're over 27, it's time to sell. If you're a woman over 27, it's time to sell. If you're a woman over 30, it's time to it's time to mark this shit on 50% off. If you're over 35, it's time to put that shit on clearance. If you at 40, it's time to put that shit at the outlet. If you at 50, Salvation Army. Yeah, 27, time to sell. 30, 50% off.
But then again, some of you might like what I say, some of you might not. But I don't give a fuck. And this is your host, King Nigel of Alpha Male Diaries. Until next time, stay blessed. But I'm out.